Welcome to the 2021 Virtual Great Scout Luncheon. My name is Morgan and I am a proud Eagle Scout out of Troop 15G. I will be emceeing today's event with my fellow scout, Sophia.
Hi, my name is Sophia and I am a proud Eagle Scout out of Troop 15G also. I would like to thank you for joining us today for this special presentation. Today's event is much more than a fundraiser. The Great Scout Luncheon offers a unique opportunity to present scouting at its best and to thank the companies, organizations, and individuals who support great initiatives underway to build character and develop leaders for the future. Since 1910, the Boy Scouts of America has been a constant reminder that the greatest strength of America lies in the hearts and souls of our citizens. So at this time, I'd like to welcome Troop 75 out of Mentor to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and Scout Oath and Law.
Troop attention, color guard advance. Color guard post the colors. Scout hand salute. Color guard raise the colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout Law, to help other people at all times and to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
My Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
Thank you, Troop 75, for helping us open today's luncheon. Scouting has seen some amazing achievements this past year. We overcame challenges, connected with families, and delivered results. Locally, we were one of only 60 BSA camps to run Scouts BSA Summer Camp. We delivered over 127 online merit badge courses to over 4,300 Scouts and reached Scouts in all 50 states and countries as far as Australia. Personally, we are most proud of the 198 Scouts that attained the rank of Eagle Scout this year, which includes the inaugural class of female Eagle Scouts. We are proud to be included in this monumental occasion as some of the first female Eagle Scouts of the Lake Erie Council. Let's take a moment and hear from some of our new local female Eagle Scouts.
So this week I had my Eagle Board review and I passed.
Being an Eagle Scout means that I can inspire other girls to be able to achieve anything that they want to set their minds to.
I've learned so much through scouting. Sometimes I even say that I've learned more through scouting than it's in school. It's been such a great experience. I've bonded with all of my fellow scouts and I've learned so much about the outdoors and about myself and everything.
A lot of the boys in my family were Eagle Scouts, so my dad and my uncles and my cousins, and they really enjoyed it. They had a great time and it's helped them become who they are now. And my brother and my sister actually joined Cub Scouts together and she tagged along and they had a really fun time. So when they were opening up to girls, it was just an opportunity for me to see if I liked it.
My advice to future girl Eagle Scouts is to never give up on what you believe in just because hardships and troubles come your way.
I would say for somebody who is thinking about joining, I would say definitely do it. I was actually not thinking that I would be this far or even be a scout in the first place. And after I lit the first fire at one of our meetings the first time, I knew right then that I wanted to be in Scouts.
For me, it was one of the best experiences and is the best experience that I've had. I've met so many more people and I've become way better with talking and leadership. So I'd say it's a good move, so do it.
like it's an experience of a lifetime, if you will. Like it's super exciting. You get to meet new people. You get to learn tons of things, gain knowledge, experience. I mean, getting Eagle is already like a great achievement, whether you're female or like male. Just because it opens up so many doors of opportunity for you in your future.
Wow, it is amazing to see our fellow female Eagle Scouts taking about what scouting means to them. I hope you can at home also see how important scouting is and will support us at givescouting.org.
Now welcome Mark Ryan, Scout Executive and CEO of the Lake Erie Council Boy Scouts of America.
Thank you, Morgan, and a huge thanks to both you and Sophia for doing such a wonderful job as our MCs. We're so proud of you, and we're thrilled to celebrate your accomplishments as members of our first ever female class of Eagle Scouts. As you and the 200 plus other members of our 2020 class of Eagle Scouts know, to achieve this distinction, it takes hard work, dedication, and perseverance. Speaking of hard work, dedication, and perseverance, I could think of few better examples in the world that embody those three characteristics more than that of a Navy SEAL. Expertly trained to deliver highly specialized, intensely challenging warfare capabilities that are beyond the means of standard military forces, the mental toughness and belief in their mission must be ever present as those who seek to join this elite force set out to achieve their goal. Our guest speaker today knows this so very well. Jay Hennessy served 25 years in the United States Navy, where he'd finished his career serving as the commander of the Naval Special Warfare Center, overseeing the selection, training, and qualification for all Navy SEALs, before retiring as a captain. In addition to a whole lot of other responsibility, this basically means that Jay was responsible for training the Navy SEALs that trained new Navy SEALs. Upon completion of his time serving our country, Jay joined forces with the Cleveland Indians, where he's now in his 4th season as the Vice President of Learning and Development, serving as a developmental resource for leaders at all levels. A Connecticut native, Jay earned his undergraduate degree from Villanova University and graduate degrees from San Diego State University and the U.S. Naval War College. He and his wife Jessica reside in Westlake, Ohio, with their 4 children. It is an honor and a privilege to introduce and welcome Mr. Jay Hennessy, the 2021 Great Scout Speaker.
Hey, Mark. Thank you very much for the kind intro. Super excited. It's both an honor and a privilege to be speaking to Boy Scouts of America today. I got to tell you, I'm on like take 5 right now. I've had my 2 dogs barking. I've had the phone ring. I never realized how hard speaking into a video camera would be from home, undisturbed. So hopefully we'll get through this take and get this off to you and your team. I am super honored to be speaking to you. But the second challenge is really, when you ask me to speak, of course, I want to do my part for a great organization, but I was never a Boy Scout. And so the challenge is, how do I deliver some remarks that are both relevant and impactful to you and your team? So that's kind of where I am. So as I've thought about it for the past couple of weeks, and I thought of a time earlier in my career where scouting was actually top of mind. And I thought I'd share a little bit of a story, a little bit of a framework for how that came to be, and then share some of my kind of top takeaways. So if Mark hasn't shared, for context, I spent a career in the Navy, did just over 25 years as a Navy SEAL, and retired in 2018 from San Diego, moved my family to Cleveland, Ohio, and I currently work in learning and development for the Cleveland Indians. Our goal is to help everybody in our organization be better at what they do. But in this previous career, the last job I had was at the Naval Special Warfare Center, which is a fancy name for working at the schoolhouse. This was the team of folks that helped select and train Naval Special Warfare's future warriors, our future Navy SEALs, our future Special Warfare combatant craft crewmen, and future other combat enablers that it's likely folks have never heard of. But it's a great place to work. It's the energy of selecting our future leaders, our future warriors, it's unbelievable. Well, during that tour, one of the challenges we had was For SEAL officers, we actually had way more applicants than we had spots in our course. So we had to come up with a kind of a down select course that we would run the year prior to them entering SEAL training. And we created this course from scratch. And the idea was, let's figure out a course where we can put people through kind of an experiential environment where we're going to test and assess them physically, mentally, cognitively, behaviorally, to kind of flesh out who are the best potential candidates to be future teammates. But it's a tough challenge, right? If you don't get really clear up front on what's that rubric, what's the thing that we want. Everybody says better SEALs, but what's a better SEAL? So the kind of the litmus test that we used, we called the expedition test. As we were crafting what this course was going to look like, we said, let's think of the applicants in this way. Let's imagine we were all going on an expedition, but it's to an unknown country for an unknown period of time. We don't know the terrain, but we get a 5-person team that we get to select. So let's think about who would we put on that team. So I'd ask everybody right now to think, who's on your 5-person team to go on an expedition for an unknown period of time in an unknown part of the world to do tasks that you're unaware of? So to give you a second to think about it, you're probably coming up with 2 or 3 names. Maybe you've got the 4th name right now. But I'd ask you, when you think about the top name or the top 1 or 2, think about what is it? What is it about this person? What is it about this gal or this guy that's saying, yeah, I want her on my team, or I want him on my team? Well, as we did it, we kind of shared with each other what those attributes were, what those things were. Not surprising, it was never the number of pull-ups the person did. It was never how fast they ran the 4-mile timed run or how fast they swam 2 miles. In fact, it came down to 3 basic things. The first thing was trust. Foundational to everything, I have to trust this person. Oftentimes people pick their brother or their sister. Some people pick their dad, but they always came back and said, I got to know that this person has my back. So that was trust. The second one is, this wasn't a personality test, right? This wasn't just picking the nicest guy or the nicest gal This person had to have skills. So people usually said, I picked this person because they're just that person that can usually like change the oil on a car, or they know how to tie a Christmas tree to the roof of the car. Or if we get into a canoe, I don't need to teach them how to paddle. If we're going out hiking, they know what stuff to put in their pack. I remember guys saying, this is a person who's comfortable hiking at night with a headlamp on. In the end, it was about this person having competence. They needed to have skills that they could bring and add value to their team in the field. And the third one was pretty simple. Not surprising, I got to get along with this person. So it's not just that I trust them. It's not just that they've got good skills. The trifecta is I have to want to spend time with them. And in fact, when we went through this little exercise, it helped me redefine my definition of teammate. And quite simply, I said it's a trustworthy, competent person with whom I want to serve. And it's really that trifecta. Right? 2 out of 3 doesn't cut it. It's got to have all 3. So it was a great exercise to think through what that end product was. Now we kind of had a good idea of what we wanted. It helped us craft kind of the environment and the things that we could put trainees through to see how they would do. But as I thought about it a little bit deeper, I thought about the person that I picked. It was a person with whom I'd served in a platoon together. We had trained, we had been overseas together, and had spent a great deal of time together. And I still, to this day, consider him a good friend. But as I thought about this guy, one of the things that did jump out at me was he was an Eagle Scout. And I think, some of the stories he shared with me about his dad as a scoutmaster, growing up, taking he and his friends camping and hiking and other adventures, just always stuck with me. That was just I had these images of what it was like, of his experiences. But more than anything, this was a guy, while we all went through SEAL training and we all had the skills that we were taught, this guy had other skills. He had things that he could just do, value that he brought to the team. It was, just a bit different. So in the role that I had at that time, I often was a person that had to review application packages for candidates that wanted to become a SEAL. And I remember when the packages would come in, I tried not to have a bias for the institution from which they came. But the thing that always did stick out was if they were ever an Eagle Scout, I thought, boy, that's a little bit different, and got a little extra credit. And I think at the time, most of us attributed it to what I would call the habit of goal attained. We had this idea that people that graduated college had created this pattern of setting a goal and attaining it. They had a goal for college, so they did their ACTs or their SATs or their essays or their applications. They set goals, they attained them, and that was a great pattern. And we looked at scouting as just kind of that same process on steroids. So, that was kind of how we viewed it. And to be honest, if I look at my time in the SEAL teams, it pays out pretty well. Guys who were Eagle Scouts did really well in SEAL training. You could do the research on it, I'm sure. But it wasn't until Mark asked me to speak here that I thought, let me unpack that a little bit more. Let me think about my number one person, the guy that I put on my expedition. And beyond being an Eagle Scout, what were the other things? What if I had to put them in buckets, what buckets would I put them in? So as I thought about it, the first one was really this bias for action. And this particular guy, no matter what we were doing, no matter what crazy idea, he always wanted to go. If we were on I think about a time we were up in Kodiak, Alaska training, and the training ended, and they said, hey, if anybody wants to do kind of an extra hike on our day off, we'll take some guys. And of course, he would be the first guy to raise his hand. Of course, he wanted to go on the extra hike, right? That was just his bias for action. But if you take that a step further, and I think about going through training with this guy, there was something else. There was a level of curiosity as we were doing tactics, techniques, and procedures. I remember being in Kodiak, Alaska again, doing river and stream crossing, and we were learning the different knots, and we're learning the different pulley systems. And I remember this guy, getting really curious and wanting to try different ways of doing it. And what stuck out at me is it wasn't just curiosity; it was this in the moment learning. Often people refer to learning as like the thing you do in school or the thing you get from a book, as opposed to real learning, like organizations that are learning organizations. Learning is side by side. It's part of the process. And that was definitely what stuck out with this guy. And it made our platoon better. We were constantly in the moment unpacking what we just did and how could we do that a little bit better. So I guess I would just call that the bias for action, being comfortable in any environment, and this piece of learning. The second big bucket that I would put it in was this others focus. And, no matter what we were doing, no matter how we were training, no matter where we were, if there was someone struggling, whether it was how to load a backpack or, how to rig a boat for a paradrop, this particular guy was always there wanting to lend a hand, always wanted to show a different type of knot or how a trucker's hitch could be used to do something differently. But at the end of the day, what came across was, gosh, this guy, all he wants to do is help us. He wants to make everyone better at his own expense, right? He was always taking care of other people. So that was kind of the second thing that stuck out at me about this guy. The third thing really stuck out at me when we were probably 23, 22 at this time, maybe a little bit older, but it doesn't matter. We were young. But he already had a good sense of his personal guardrails, like his values, his non-negotiables, the things he was definitely all in for, and the things that were just a red line where he wouldn't accept, and he wouldn't tolerate it from others as well. And it was refreshing to see, and he made us better, because when you're with people like that, it makes you better. And I remember thinking how I had seen ethical drift in my career. I'd seen it with people that had lowered the bar to fit in, or had lowered the bar to take the easy way or out. But that wasn't the case with this guy, right? He had early on a set of convictions. He had early on thought about who he was as a man. And, was the first time when I really realized the idea of like this lead yourself first. You can't lead others until you could truly lead yourself first. I guess the last bucket was this idea of service. And, it sounds a bit trite. Everybody that we served with had raised their right hand, had volunteered for arguably some of the toughest military training in the world to be part of this elite team. But there's just something about this guy that was a little bit different. It was his dedication to being part of something bigger, an unswerving just dedication to the team, to those around him. The only way I could say it was inspiring, and it made us all better. It made my game as a leader better. And to be truthful, I was actually in charge, and although we were close peers, I was just a hair senior to him. But it made me a better leader for sure. So I share this really just my reflections on how I've looked at scouting, how I've valued people who have been through scouting, when they were candidates for SEAL training. But more importantly, I think it just helped me reflect on, I think, what your organization does really well and provides those guardrails for young men and women early, creates a bias towards service, a bias towards the outdoors, and being real clear on their convictions of who they are as leaders. So I guess my only message is to say thank you, and to hope that your organization keeps doing what it does, because you're definitely making boys and girls, future leaders of tomorrow, far better than they'd be on their own. And just a final note, if there's ever anything I could do to help your organization, please don't hesitate to reach out. It's truly an honor to speak with you all today, and thank you very much.
Wow, Morgan, doesn't that make you feel even more special to be a scout, especially an Eagle Scout? The skills we learn can take us so far in life. What was your favorite merit badge to do on your way to Eagle?
I think I have enjoyed learning new skills most in scouting and knowing I can help in an emergency. So my first aid merit badge, probably.
That's a good one. I enjoyed that also. I think those skills are what makes scouting so important. We are preparing kids like us to have the skills including outdoor and survival skills. Scouting builds confidence, just look at us. It develops character and builds leaders. Let's see some of the amazing things scouts learn through scouting.
Teaching kids wilderness survival skills, CPR, shooting and fire safety, swimming, compass and map reading, and so much more instills the confidence, enhances self-esteem, it provides exercise, and offers fun adventures while learning critical life skills. The Scouting program offers fundamental skills to youth while developing traits of citizenship, character, fitness, and leadership, while challenging Scouts to move beyond their normal comfort level and discover their abilities. Scouts grow into independent, resourceful adults, able to fend for themselves and manage whatever life throws their way. Scouting is adventure. Scouting will guide kids to great things. Not only will Scouts navigate the woods with confidence, they will confidently navigate the world. Scouts are the best version of themselves today and will grow into the best version of themselves for the future through the skills and values learned here. Our Scouts know there's no one way to explore the world, but their way is through Scouting.
Please help us welcome the President of the Lake Erie Council Board of Directors, Donald Cates.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 2021 Great Scout Luncheon, which this year we're doing virtually again. But we are extraordinarily excited to be doing this because we're back in the springtime, which has been our normal timing for this event historically. What's important to do first, though, is let's take a moment and thank those who have been so generous in terms of our sponsors and our table hosts. The fact is, this wouldn't happen if it wasn't for their extraordinary support. So let's just take a moment and look at this video to honor those who have made this happen.
Thank you, Connor Foundation, for allowing me to hang out with my friends.
Thank you, Seaforth Industries, for allowing me to go tent camping.
Thank you, Shamrock Companies, for helping me on my trail to Eagle Scout.
Thank you, Master Blend, for allowing me to come camping. Thank you, Emily Blake, for allowing us to do service projects.
Thank you, Stephen and Joanne Kirk Foundation, for letting me experience scouting.
Thank you, Maloney and Novotny, for allowing me to have new scout experiences.
Thank you, Bennett, for allowing me to be a Cub Scout.
Thank you, Tracy Blake, for making this opportunity happen.
Thank you, Lubrisol, for allowing me to come to Camp Paris.
Thank you, Turner Construction, for helping me build things like campfires.
Thank you, Sherwin Williams, for helping me become one of the first girl Eagle Scouts.
Thank you again to our sponsors. They are who really make this event happen, and we're extremely grateful. Earlier you heard from Morgan and Sophia, who were able to reflect on the fact that we ran Scouts BSA Camp safely at Beaumont Scout Reservation. And here's the bonus. I'm excited to announce this year that we are celebrating our 75th anniversary at Beaumont, and we can't wait to have everyone's participation.
Beaumont Scout Reservation is Lake Erie Council's premier summer camp. Located in Rock Creek, Ohio, Beaumont's 1,200 acres allows kids to partake in activities such as canoeing, kayaking, shooting sports, coping climbing, and even learn how to weld. This year, Beaumont celebrates its 75th anniversary. Opening in 1946, Beaumont Scout Reservation was just a small parcel along the Grand River, eventually expanding to 1,200 acres to provide one program across all 4 of our subcamps. This year we are offering over 100 different merit badges and activities to allow Scouts to have fun, learn new skills, meet new people, and expand their knowledge of Scouting. Beaumont prepares all of our Scouts for the rest of their lives by giving them opportunities to demonstrate leadership, learn new skills, find new hobbies that they'll have for the rest of their lives. We look forward to seeing you out at Beaumont Scout Reservation as we celebrate our 75th Diamond Anniversary, as we look for 75 more.
So please help us make this summer the very best year ever by supporting our local scouting by giving to givescouting.org.
Thank you, Mr. Cates. Sophia, did you see that video? I can't believe Beaumont is 75 years old. Beaumont is where we both got to do our first ever summer camp experience. I think my favorite memory at Beaumont would be being on camp staff this year. I got to go to a bunch of different areas and I had a great time.
I think that my favorite memory about Beaumont would be Klondike because we came in 3rd place and it was super fun.
I'm so thankful for events like the Great Scout Luncheon that allow us to have experiences at camp. Let's take a minute to thank our sponsors.
We'd like to thank all of our first-class sponsors.
Ancora,
Apple Growth Partners,
Noel Bartlett,
Cabbage, Familio, and Durkin,
CBiz,
Cleveland Marble and Mosaic,
John Didinsky,
Denora Tech,
Dice and Company,
Erie Lenan OA Lodge,
Fox Fire Protection,
William Garrison,
Gorman Lavelle Corporation,
Don Cates with Adventure Growth,
Howard and Ruth Ann Lewis Foundation,
House of LaRose,
Jones Day,
McDonald Hopkins,
Mary Jo Malacher,
Tom and Lori Poe,
Prince and Eisent Company,
Swagelak Company,
VAM Associates,
Tucker Ellis,
RMP International,
Zenith Systems.
We've talked so much about camp, but haven't even touched on one of the great opportunities the Lake Erie Council offers to get us to camp. I was able to sell Scouts' own maple syrup from our very own Beaumont Scout Reservation to earn my way to camp. Let's learn more about this great opportunity.
Each year, millions of kids embark on new scouting adventures. These scouts are trailblazers, innovators, and leaders. Scouts' own products fuel fun adventures for young people and their families across the United States. When you choose one of our Scouts' own products, you are funding discovery, outdoor adventures, and tomorrow's leaders. Scouts' own maple syrup is produced each year by tapping thousands of maple trees out at camp that produce the maple sap each season. At Beaumont, Scouts take part in learning more about the history and process of making maple syrup through specialized programs. Then they can put their entrepreneurial skills to work by selling Scouts' own to fund their scouting adventures. Learn more at scoutsown.org.
There are so many ways to support local scouting through purchasing Scouts' own maple syrup or popcorn, to giving directly to givescouting.org, or by becoming a Keeper of the Flame. Take an opportunity to support the Lake Erie Council now.
Morgan, do you remember going to 6th grade camp?
I do. We had so much fun. Why do you ask?
Well, the Lake Erie Council is excited to announce Great Lakes Adventures, which includes 6th grade camp and leadership camp opportunities, team building, and just fun days for non-scouts to spend at our awesome facilities. Let's learn more.
My favorite experience is probably the giant zip line that they have that's over the lake. And they have a really tall staircase and it can be kind of a little scary, like going up.
The dance party. The dance party was awesome. It was very energetic and everyone was having a lot of fun. And even people that weren't really having a lot of fun before and they're a little bit nervous, they definitely had a lot of fun during the dance party.
You know, canoeing was great actually. That was probably one of the best ones, especially because we started and you know, we decided to race, so we raced all the way to the end and all the way back.
It's overall a really good experience. You have a fun time. It's warm outside most of the time, and the cabins are pretty nice.
Probably cold-blooded. The cold-blooded animals in the ERC. That was pretty fun because we got to hold a snake and a turtle and then some tadpoles. And then we just learned a lot about reptiles and amphibians and how they kind of look the same, but they're very different.
It can be scary at first, I think, but coming here is a lot of fun. I did not want to come at all, if I'm being honest, but I had so much fun. I've been to a ton of summer camps. This is one of the best camps I've ever been to. Everyone is just really welcoming. Everyone is very supportive, and I think that even if you're having a hard time with it, it's really fun. It's a lot of fun.
Now let's welcome back Mark Ryan, Scout Executive and CEO of the Lake Erie Council Boy Scouts of America.
Again, thanks Morgan, and what a terrific video of Great Lakes Adventures. You know, I was so lucky to have spent the entire week out at camp as these students transformed in front of our very eyes, learning the scouting way, living by the Scout oath and law, learning to function as a team, putting the needs of others and the good of the group in front of their own. For many of them, this might have been the first time that they've been immersed into this type of experience. For us, it's simply who we are. And through their week, no different than any other week of Scout Camp, I am certain that they experienced trials, tribulations, and obstacles that they would need to overcome. But that's what we do in Scouting. We look at the difficult circumstances we face, and we see them not as impediments, but rather opportunities. You see, we're not born experienced scouts. No, we must face hardship in order to overcome them. And in those moments when we teach young people how to overcome and adapt, we're invited in to see the real magic of scouting and what American author and professor John A. Shedd knew when he famously said, "A ship in harbor is safe, but that's not what ships are built for. That's not what we're built for. Scale that tower, paddle that canoe, hike that mountain, aim that rifle, serve in a leadership position." From day one in Scouting, we encourage young people to leave their comfort zone, to find a new place to roost, a place they can be proud of their accomplishments, but a place they mustn't stay too long, as their next challenge awaits. You see, the next challenge always awaits. There will always be another one, and another one after that. But the 10th point of the Scout Law, a Scout is brave, teaches us that Scouts can face those challenges even if they're afraid. They have the courage to stand up for what they think is right, what they know is right. And what I know is right is that the world needs Scouting. And Scouting is better because of each of you, just as the world is better because of Scouting. Today we celebrate that impact, the impact Scouting has had on the world. We celebrate not only the great things that we're doing for young people, but also the great things we're able to do for the world through young people. That's why we take this time each year to present the Good Scout Award. The Good Scout Award is presented annually to a deserving individual at the Boy Scouts of America Lake Erie Council's largest special event, the Great Scout Luncheon. The GSA recognition is presented to those who exemplify in their daily life the ideals of the Boy Scouts of America as expressed by the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. Recipients are chosen for their outstanding community service, as evidenced by their leadership to many worthwhile organizations, as well as the respect and esteem that they are held in by their colleagues. This year's recipient certainly fits that bill. James A. McClurg is the president of Seaforth Mineral and Ore Company, which is a processor and distributor of quality minerals and chemicals to industrial manufacturers throughout Northeast America, and Masterblend International, which is a manufacturer and distributor of premium fertilizers, seeds, and plant protection products to the turf, ornamental, and horticultural markets across the United States. But to us, he's just Jim, who's been an ardent supporter of Scouting and a lifelong member of the BSA. McClurg began Scouting with Troop 62 in Cleveland Heights. As a child, he earned his Eagle Scout Award in 1966. He served as an assistant scoutmaster and a troop committee chair with Troop 177 in Chagrin Falls. He was also a board member for the Greater Cleveland Council and now serves on the board of the Lake Erie Council, including many years on the Great Scout Luncheon Committee. He's been key to its financial success. Jim currently resides in Chagrin Falls, Ohio, with his wife Melody, whom he's been married to for 37 years. He's the proud father of 3 children, Mike, Jeff, who's an Eagle Scout, and Molly. He enjoys spending time with his family, golfing, and traveling in his free time. When he's not engaged with his family, his work, and Scouting, Jim also volunteers as a high jump coach and the pole vault coach for the Chagrin Falls High School track and field team. He has coached 2 state champions, as well as a total of 7 All-Ohio designated athletes and 13 state meet qualifiers. On behalf of the Lake Erie Council, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to present the 2021 Good Scout Award to James A. McClurg. Jim, congratulations.
Thank you.
It is just incredible after all the years that you have worked on this event, the time you spent on this committee, and through your entire Scouting career, for us to be able to recognize you in this way. And just let's start off by tell me a little bit about what the award and the Great Scout Luncheon and the whole Great Scout event for so long. What's it meant to you, and why have you stayed a part of it for so long?
Well, first of all, it's quite an honor. I'm very thankful, and I appreciate this award. I think it's been well over 10 years since I've been on both the Lake Erie Council and, of course, the Greater Cleveland Council before that. In my mind, it's a way to give back. It's a simple, I'm all about kids. I'm all about trying to help improve their lives, and the Boy Scouts is just one of the finest organizations for that.
So Scouting didn't start as an adult. This goes all the way back to young. In fact, I should mention, both Jim and I have been vaccinated, and so we're not wearing masks. We do have some social distance. But I see that Jim brought one of his masks with him. Actually, this isn't a mask, Jim. It would be one of the largest masks, but this goes way back, you told me, from when you were originally a Scout. Tell us a little bit about that.
So this is the flag of the Panther Patrol, and this was the first patrol where I became patrol leader. And you know, you talk about what is Scouting, what has it done for me in my life, and that was probably the very first leadership opportunity. So being a patrol leader at the time, 12 and a half years old, very important to me, and definitely was something that had a big impact on my life. So definitely the Panther Patrol, warm spot in my heart.
I love it, Jim. And let's think back to the Panther Patrol, those early days. When you think back to all of those great trips, and you think back to summer camp, you think back to the time with your friends, your patrol mates, your troop mates, what's one of the greatest memories that comes to mind of your early days in Scouts?
So obviously many great memories. The Klondike Derby, that was a special and very unique event that I participated in 4 or 5 times when I was in scouting, and of course then later as a troop assistant scoutmaster. Again, another 4 or 5 years of Klondike Derby. The summer, Beaumont, again, same thing. Growing up in Cleveland, that was always a great summer experience. Much more rustic back in my day. More of a primitive type camp, but still many great memories. And then having a chance to go with both my sons, as well as the years as assistant scoutmaster. Again, the camp had been upgraded a bit. The Augustus Center, things like that, a little more livable, but a great camping experience, and great, again, to see my kids enjoy the same camping and achievement with merit badges and swimming and what have you that I did as a child.
Yeah, and I want to talk about your sons in a minute because they've got interesting scout stories, and then after scouting as well. But so then later on, you start in the Panther Patrol, you become a patrol leader, you're enjoying your scouting day, and then something big happens. You become an Eagle Scout, one of the few and the proud. And just tell me about that time in your life. How important was becoming an Eagle Scout? And tell us as well, how has that impacted your life since becoming an Eagle Scout?
So obviously camping and having fun was the big part of scouting, but the achievement side, as I look back on it, really I think put me in a good position going forward in my life. Not only Eagle Scout, but certainly first class star life. Every level, every rank was important. And then when I made Eagle, it was certainly a culmination, and probably as a 14-year-old, my single most important achievement in my life at that point. And going forward, I can tell you that probably not a month passes where somebody doesn't talk about scouting, talk about Eagle Scouts, and it's amazing the number of people I've met in my life's journey that were Eagle Scouts, and it is a special bond. I think everybody that's accomplished that realizes it's important in their life, and it's another neat thing that you can experience with people as your as colleagues and business associates and whatever. So it's just one of the all-time great achievements for me, and I think for a lot of people.
And I know there's at least another Eagle Scout out there that would say the same. 2 sons. Jeff becomes an Eagle Scout, and I'm sure that's played a part in his life. And your other son didn't become an Eagle Scout, but I suspect what he does now in life, scouting, still played a significant impact and shaped him not only for what he was going to do, but to prepare him to do that. Tell us a little bit about your family.
Yeah, so I've 2 boys and a girl, and of course my daughter wasn't able to enjoy Boy Scouts. My oldest son, Mike, made it to first class. Then kind of moved on, but subsequently joined the Marine Corps and was in Special Forces with the Marines for 12 years. My second son, Jeff, did attain Eagle, and that was, I know, for him very meaningful and very big part of his life up to that point. And I just wish my daughter Molly would have had the experience of Boy Scouts, or scouting, I should say scouting, because now they have girls, and that's become quite a very positive involvement for the scouting movement.
Let's talk about your service then. Later in life, you continue to give back to scouting. You've served on the board for so long. You mentioned when we talked initially about the award that it's a way to give back, this event, but more so, why you're calling to the board? Why have you felt so strongly about staying involved as an assistant scoutmaster, committee chairman, and then later a member of both the Greater Cleveland Board and now the Lake Erie Council Board?
So I was the troop committee chairman for Troop 177 for a number of years when both my boys were in scouting, and also an assistant scoutmaster. So that probably 6-8 years in that, working with Troop 177 in Chagrin Falls, and that was a great opportunity, again, not only to work with my two boys, but all the other boys that were in that troop, and that was a lot of fun. Again, a chance to give back, and the same is true later. So the same point is true later when I joined the board. I was asked to join the board. Again, it was a chance to help the overall scouting movement here in the greater Cleveland area. When I was asked to join the board about 10 or 12 years ago, I felt that at that time it was a chance, again, since my boys had by that time left scouting, it was a chance to be more involved from the board level and really help the overall greater Cleveland and now northeastern Ohio area to make sure that the scouting movement remained vibrant and financially solvent. I think for a board member, one of the important points is always to help fundraise, because any nonprofit like scouting needs a constant inflow of not only the money from camping or the money from uniforms, but people that are totally committed to the organization, and so I worked hard to raise money over these years for the Scouts.
And not just the Scouts. Your involvement, as you mentioned, goes beyond scouting. You know, you talk about serving kids and making an impact on their life, and I'm just, super interested as well in what you're doing over in Chagrin, and I've enjoyed our conversations over the years about the team there and the championships and all the great things. So tell us a little bit about how you got involved there and kind of what's going on.
Yeah, so probably same thing, you follow your kids. So I was again asked almost 20 years ago now to help out with the high jump and pole vault. I was a track and field athlete in college. I was a pole vaulter in college, and felt like I could help. And so my son Jeff actually was a pole vaulter, and so once he left, I was hooked, and I've continued to stay with the program. The Chagrin Falls High School track and field team, it's a great group, and every year I have a chance to impact kids' lives, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun for me, and so that's been one of my nonprofit efforts to, again, help the kids.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's clear that just like we talked about, our honoree is not only esteemed by his colleagues, but also makes an incredible impact. And so it's for these reasons, Jim, that we are so proud to be able to present this award to you in recognition of your service to impacting lives. That's what scouting's about. That's clearly what you're about. And it's through the magic and through the getting together of scouters across our council that we're able to recognize your good deeds and your commitment to the Scout Oath, to the Scout Law, and to everything that makes our movement so powerful. So again, I wish you continued success. I congratulate you, and I thank you most importantly for what you're doing for young people and for what I know you'll continue to do and will continue to do together to impact others.
Thank you very much. It's all about the kids and the animals. So I'm happy to accept this award, and I will be working hard in the future to keep everything going in the right direction. So thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Jim is one fine example of how great folks make the world a better place through scouting. So too are many of you. Many of you have answered the high calling of serving others, and many continue to do so today. For that, I and all those who benefit from your time, your talent, and your treasure are tremendously appreciative. You've invested your resources into thousands of local youth that we impact every day. And the results of what we're able to do are just amazing. As I close my time here this afternoon, I wanted to leave you with a brief glimpse of what's been happening throughout the pandemic and what's next for the Lake Erie Council. Last summer, we safely ran resident camp at beautiful Beaumont Scout Reservation in Rock Creek, Ohio. And we were one of only 60 BSA camps to run across the country. We changed the lives of over 1,000 young people who couldn't wait to get out of their houses to swim, fish, climb, rappel, shoot, ride, hike, learn, listen, pray, practice leadership, work as a team, and much more. And we're on target for close to 1,600 youth this summer, with new programs and many upgraded facilities awaiting our scouts. Not to mention a host of youth and adult trainings this summer, as well at Fireland Scout Reservation in Wakeman, Ohio. Both camps have been extremely busy since they've been reopened. Nearly every weekend, a combination of a major council event and a multitude of units eager to camp fill our properties. Check this one out. During the height of COVID, we delivered over 127 online merit badges to over 4,200 scouts, reaching all 50 states and countries as far as Australia, teaching them critical skills that will shape their future. And as I mentioned earlier, in 2020, we celebrated the achievement of over 200 new Eagle Scouts, which includes our first ever female scouts, Eagle Scouts, 7 right here in Northeast Ohio. 200 new Eagle Scouts. That's 200 gifts that scouting's given back to the community, to their families, to future employers, to the world. It's a big deal. Of course, we conducted, as we always do, thousands and thousands of hours of service to improve and beautify our communities. And as I opened with, most recently, we launched our exciting new partnership with schools called Great Lakes Adventures to serve their students in our facilities with our incredible curriculum that focuses on hard, soft, and personal skills that young people need in today's difficult world. Through lockdowns, curfews, Zooms, school from home, and more, your Lake Erie Council stayed true to its mission of preparing young people. We pivoted, overcame challenges, connected with families, and delivered results to ensure that Scouting continued as the trusted partner to our families and the proven investment in building leaders with character. Your support makes that possible. That's why we ask, because together we make a big difference and a huge impact. My friends, while certainly difficult, 2020 and the first 5 months of 2021 have taught us so much. We have so much to be thankful for in all that we've achieved, but our work in many ways has just begun. We have much to accomplish in the coming years as we seek to reposition the BSA as the undisputed investment in coming alongside families, helping them to instill character in their children, in building leaders for tomorrow, and for making every community in America better through service and the foundational skills that mark our youth as those that have been prepared for the challenge and prepared for life. But I know we can do it because that's exactly what Scouting is all about, and your support makes it all possible. Thank you so much for your continued trust and generosity. May God bless each of you, and may God continue to bless the Boy Scouts of America. Back to you, Sophia and Morgan.
Ladies and gentlemen, we can't thank you enough for spending this time with us.
What you have done for Scouting today will leave a significant impact on the lives of many young people. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we look forward to seeing you soon.